Now, what kind of a YouTube Magic the Gathering content creator would I be if I didn't at least do a top 5 for Magic the Gathering's new set of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty? A bad one, that's right. What's up, fellow Planeswalkers? Shane here, coming at you with my top 5 favorite cards from the new set of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. This was an amazing and fun set, and I definitely can't wait to throw some of these cards into my decks to help complete them. On a side note, if you haven't had a chance yet to listen to the music of Kamigawa performed by Jonathan Young and Matthew Heafy, then I highly recommend you do. It was amazing, and it definitely captures the spirit and feel of the set. With that said, just a quick reminder before the video gets underway that this is my own opinion for the top 5, so sorry if your favorite card does not get put on it, but this was my own opinion, and these are the cards that I like the most. So, with that said, let's get down to brass tacks and get right into the video. Alright, so coming in at number 5, we have Ishin, 2 heavens is 1. While I'm not normally a fan of Mardu, this legendary creature has some pretty decent power behind him. Ishin is a legendary creature, human samurai, 3/4 for 1 red, 1 white, 1 black. And he reads, if a creature attacking would cause a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Basically, this guy is a panharmonicon for attack triggers, which is pretty sweet. A degenerate thought I had about this guy was about running some Eldrazi with Annihilator on them, and watching that trigger happen twice, which would essentially lead to your opponents crying big salty tears. Can you imagine an Ulamog the Infinite Gyre with his Annihilator 4 triggering twice? That's 8 permanents that they have to sacrifice on attack declaration. That's just awful. Anyway, with number 5 out of the way, let's move on to number 4. Alright, coming in at number 5, we have Shorakai Genesis Engine. I've always thought that the idea of a vehicle commander would be pretty sweet, and boy did Wizards deliver. Shorakai Genesis Engine is an 8/8 legendary artifact vehicle for 2, a white, and a blue. He has the ability, pay 1 and tap to draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature crews vehicles as though it were power 2 greater. Shorakai Genesis can be your commander, and it has crew 8 on it itself. Now, not only is Shorakai a badass looking mech with a lot of power and the ability to create the creatures it needs to crew it, but it has a draw 2 ability on it. Well played, Wizards, well played. Sadly though, Shorakai does not have black in its casting cost, which is why it's only number 4 on the list. If you'd like to see Shorakai in action, watch the latest Game Nights episode to see Josh Lee Kwai try and get it through against Posty and the others. Now that this guy's out of the way, let's move on to number 3. Alright, coming in next we have Hidetsugu the Devouring Chaos. If you've ever heard the saying, Jack of all trades, master of none, well, this guy is not only the Jack, but he actually mastered the abilities too. Hidetsugu Devouring Chaos is 3 and a black for a legendary 4/4 Ogre Demon. He has the abilities for a black, sacrifice a creature, scry 2, or pay 2 and a red, tap, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. When you exile a non-land card this way, Hidetsugu Devouring Chaos deals damage equal to the exiled card's mana value to any target. So this Rakdos commander not only has the ability to smack opponents for big damage off the top of your deck, while still letting you play the card that you exiled, but his first ability lets you attempt to make sure that you hit the right cards off the top to deal maximum damage. This guy basically looked at Yuriko, the tiger shadow, and said, "Hold my beer." This truly is one spicy demon. Now, with this guy done, let's move on to number 2. Alright, coming in at number 2, we have Jin Gataxius, Progress Tyrant. Now I know what you're thinking. Shane, Jin Gataxius is a praetor straight from Phyrexia. Why isn't he number 1 on the list? Well, my friends, while you would be correct normally, today the top spot is reserved for someone better, more special. So Jin Gataxius, Progress Tyrant, is 5 blue for a 5/5 legendary Phyrexian praetor. He reads, whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell. This ability only triggers once each turn. Although this version of our glorious praetor is not quite as powerful as his original card, he still has a massive degenerate potential. The ability to double a spell a turn and counter one spell a turn is quite powerful. In this case, though, I wouldn't mind getting a couple of opponents up to 7 poison, and then with Jin on the board, casting something like Caress of Phyrexia to complete 2 opponents at once. That is really spicy, and it would be quite enjoyable. And now, with our glorious praetor out of the way, it's time to finally move on to the coveted number 1 spot. And alright, last but not least, the number 1, the most coveted spot on our list. Today, the number 1 spot goes to Tamiyo, the completed sage. Now, can we all just take a quick second here to appreciate how beautiful Tamiyo is now that she is completed? Gorgeous. Tamiyo, completed sage, is a legendary planeswalker for 2, a green, a blue, and either blue-green Phyrexian mana. She has the ability completed on her, which means blue or green can be paid with 2 life instead of the mana, and if that was paid this way, this planeswalker enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters on it. She comes in with 5 loyalty. She has a +1 ability that says tap up to 1 target artifact or creature. It does not untap during its controller's next untap step. She has a -X ability for exile target non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card. And then her -7 ultimate says create Tamiyo's Notebook, a legendary colorless artifact token with spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, and tap, draw a card. Tamiyo is a very solid planeswalker with a bit of a defense, some pseudo-reanimation, and draw power. The ability to create a token copy of a permanent in your graveyard could be quite powerful, depending on your situation. As for what this means for the Phyrexians themselves, well, now they have access to all of those powerful scrolls that Tamiyo was keeping safe and not using. Oh boy, the fun we'll have in the future. Well, that does it for this top 5, guys. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty is a really fun set with a really cool aesthetic, and while I do think it probably would have been better to do it in a 2-block set as opposed to the 1, it's still pretty awesome and you should definitely go and pick some up. Comment below and let me know what your favorite card from the set was, and if you too would like to be complete, then leave that comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, all will be one.